Yes, friends, so we were talking about operating cycle. What is operating cycle? Time that you take to rotate your money. I was giving you an example that suppose you have opened a shop in village, you buy detergents from city and sell it in village. You buy 100 rupees of detergent and sell it in 110 rupees in village. The margin is 10%. And it takes almost average 3 months for you to recover your money. Let's say you bring detergent on 1st January and by 31st March it is sold out. So in almost 3 months your money is recovered. And this is called operating cycle. The time period that you take to rotate your money. Now, as an entrepreneurial student, you have to try to see how you can increase the speed of your operating cycle. You may have to reduce your margin for that particular matter. Now here your margin is 10%. I request you to bring down the margin to as low as possible so that it can reduce the operating cycle period also. Right? So instead of let's suppose 10% margin up, you bring it to 5%. And your operating cycle reduces from 3 months to let's say 1 month. What will happen? Right now, in a year, you are able to rotate your money 4 times. Why 4 times? Because your operating cycle is 3 months. 12 months divided by 3 months, 4. So in a year, your operating cycle rotates 4 times. You invest 100 rupees on 1st January, on 31st March, you have 10 rupees of profit. You again invest the money on 1st April, 100 rupees investment, and April, May, June. After 3 months, 30th June, you get 110 rupees. So your profit is again 10 rupees. On 1st July, you again invest. And after 3 months, July, August, September, 30th September, you again get back 110 rupees. Your profit is 10 rupees. So, in 3 months, you get 10 rupees. In 1 year, you get 40 rupees. If you reduce your operating cycle, instead of 3 months to just 1 month, your margin reduces, let's say by, instead of 10%, your margin is now 5%. So, by working at half your margins, but by increasing your operating cycle, now you are earning 5% profit every month. So now your profit is 5 rupees per month. Result is 60 rupees. Earlier you were getting 40 rupees. Now you are getting 60 rupees. Suppose you open an online shop, and in online shop you have brought down your margin to just 1% or maybe 0.1%. So if you have brought down the margin to just 1% and it's an online shop, you have brought down the operating cycle to 1 day. So every day you are earning 1 rupee. 100 rupees of your investment and you get at the end of the day 1 rupees. So your profit is, on an investment of 100 rupees, your profit is 365. Profit is 63.65%. Earlier it was 40%, then 60%, now it is 365%. Which is better? This is better. Now suppose you bring down the margins further, reduce the margin and increasing the operating cycle. So you have brought down your margins to just 0.1%, but increase the operating cycles, number of operating cycles rotating. So instead of 1 day of operating cycle, you brought it down to 1 hour. Now what is the result? Instead of earning 1 rupee, the profit is now 0.1. So you are earning 10 paisa per transaction. So 10 paisa per hour. In a day, you have 24 hours. You can sell anywhere in the world. So 24 multiplied by 10 paisa. So your result is 2.4. 2.4 rupees of profit per day. Earlier we were getting 1 rupees per day, now 2.4 multiplied by 365. days in a year, your profits increased. Suppose you bring down your margins further. So you work at 0.01% margin, but your operating cycle is 1 second. Your profit will shoot up like anything. This is entrepreneurship. So an entrepreneur has to be very good in these common sense, simple financial things. Look into your financial things. Try to differentiate your costs, fixed costs, variable costs, and try to see how you can minimize these costs. Try to see how you can ensure that your operating cycle, the money that rotates, is faster and you are able to earn good money just by these simple calculations. Some people may wonder how these online companies are so successful. They are so successful because they have tried to reduce their margin to increase the operating cycles in a year. They earn throughout the year. If it is night in India, somewhere in United States or in Europe, there is daytime, so somebody is buying their products. You are not buying here, but somebody else is buying, right? They are offering very, very attractive packages, which makes people go for buying from them. They use online marketing. So you don't see their advertisements in newspaper, but you get their messages from somebody. Some person gives you recommendation to buy through them. Some person writes a review about them. Whether it is a paid review or a fake review or a real review, who knows? But you read the reviews carefully and you feel, okay, some customer is satisfied, some customer has recommended to use this product, let me try. So these online companies are so successful. They have adopted minute innovations in marketing, innovations in finance, innovations in HR, innovations in their business strategy, and they have succeeded. So in entrepreneurship, you have to innovate at every stage. You have to innovate in marketing, you have to innovate in finance, you have to innovate in HR, you have to innovate at every stage so that you are successful. You have to remember these things. It is not the competition that creates problem, but it is your lack of collaboration that creates a problem. You learn from competition. You learn a lot. Your competitors help you indirectly. You grow with competition. In entrepreneurship, competition is essential. You cannot thrive without competition. You work in a competitive environment, you will definitely succeed. But the most important thing is, if you do not know how to collaborate, you cannot succeed. The entire entrepreneurship journey is a journey towards collaboration. You have to collaborate. If you treat your suppliers just like your competitors, you will fail miserably. But if you treat your suppliers like your business partners, you will achieve success. The mantra of entrepreneurship is what? You convert every stakeholder into your partner. Entrepreneurship has some very basic essential rules. That is what we call a stakeholder approach. You consider your stakeholders as important. You think about their benefits, their profits. You will also earn profit. Who are your important stakeholders? Your important stakeholders are your suppliers, your customers, your entire retail chain, your entire supply chain. They are all your stakeholders. You have to think about their benefit. You will also benefit. You will also grow. So establishing a collaborative, win-win partnership, win-win relation with all of them is essential in entrepreneurship. If you are able to succeed in establishing that win-win partnership, you will succeed. Remember, competition doesn't create problem. Remember, most of the hosiery units are in Ludhiana. And if you will go there and set up another unit, you will succeed. Your unit will not fail. The competition there is tremendous, but this competition helps you. You learn from what your competitors are doing, what are the best practices. You interact from them, you interact with them, you learn, your knowledge increases, your employees' level of skills increases. So this helps. The competition helps. We have in India a system of industrial cluster. Every city has industrial cluster. Ludhiana is known for hosier industry, right? Jalandhar is known for steel industry, right? Rajkot is known for machine tools industry. Ahmedabad for textile industry. Surat again for textile industry, right? Ahmedabad also for chemical industry. So these are places where there is tremendous competition, but that generates excellence. The difference between a free economy and a closed economy is that in closed economy there is no scope for competition, and because there is no competition, there is no excellence. So you cannot progress. In a free economy, in a liberalized economy, in a liberalized democratic environment like America or India, you have freedom, and that freedom includes the freedom to compete on the basis of your competence, on the basis of your skills, on the basis of your excellence. You acquire better skills, you be more innovative, and you learn. And you learn from your competitors will also learn from you. Right? This is the basic stone for survival of democracies, survival of free economies, survival of capitalism. We believe in liberalism, we believe in free economy because we believe that through competition, companies also grow, entrepreneurs also grow, economy improves. And if you have an open economy approach where people learn from each other, people grow, and if you are not fit, obviously you suffer loss also. A large number of entrepreneurs fail in the first 4 years. The success rate is hardly 5%. So 95% entrepreneurs fail in first 4-5 years just because they are not very flexible, they are not very agile, they are not very learning. They may have engineering background, but they are not able to adapt, they are not able to change, they are not flexible enough, they are not able to understand the market realities, they are not learning and growing. Growth, learning, flexibility, adaptability, they are necessary for entrepreneurs. They are very much necessary. Survival of the fittest, right? You grow every day, you learn every day. That is how you have to grow, right? Every crisis brings learnings. Entrepreneur is somebody who is always looking at a problem as an opportunity. Every problem is an opportunity. For most of the people, today's corona crisis is a very big problem. But for an entrepreneur, this is an opportunity. How to work in this difficult time. And that's what you see. Companies have converted into online business organizations. Universities have started online education. They are imparting education to the students through video lectures. Everybody is trying their best. This is the ability to adapt, the ability to learn, the ability to change, the ability to learn. And we want everyone to learn these skills. So, entrepreneurship awareness program, entrepreneurship development programs gives you fundamental learning about how to be adaptive, how to learn fundamentals of finance, how to prepare your balance sheet, bookkeeping, all these things. Business is not new in India. Business has been for many, many years. Right? As per our traditional Indian texts, right? Long back, we used to have a system of accounting, which of course you may call as Mahajani system of accounting or whatever you call it. But that is necessary for an entrepreneur to keep a record. You may not have an advanced system, but you may have a system, at least some system. You may have a diary, you write down your income and expenditure and you are able to maintain a record of it. If you develop that habit, that will help you in future. In future, you will become very systematic in your accounting system. And if your accounting system is foolproof, you will easily get loan from banks. Banks will give easily loan to somebody who is having very fair and transparent system of accounting. Right? So, your knowledge of accounting will help you in gaining financial support from your lenders, from those who want to give money to you. You have to show them that yes, you have a very fair and transparent system of accounting, bookkeeping. You have a very good system of internal control. right? All these things will help. The journey of entrepreneurship is like initially you are one man. You try to search out somebody who is having ideas similar to you, who can easily understand your passion, your vision, your dreams, who can easily carry that same vision that you carry in your mind. So you pick up a few volunteers, you reward them, you convert them into your team, and your team grows. Maybe by this time you find some partners and your organization further grows, and then you require money. To get more money, maybe you go to bank, get some collateral free loans, you apply on government website for registration of startup. Search out on Google, there are plenty of websites. Rajasthan government's website is iStart. So startup, just search on Google, you'll find every government's website there. So you get registration there, you get your business registered with some incubation center, and incubation center gives you an opportunity to interact with some angel investors who can give you money. Angel investors provide first support to you, financial support. They may become a part of your board of directors, they may become advisors, they may interact with you periodically to know the progress that you have made. And if you are able to develop good prototype, you are able to develop some good markets, then you can think about contacting venture capitalists. You can further scale up, your business can grow, you can increase your business. The two important S in entrepreneurship are scalability and sustainability. Scalability means, can you increase your business every day? And sustainability is, can you ensure that your business isn't closed down? Your profits help you to grow your business, to survive, to develop. And if there are difficulties, you can overcome those difficulties. So sustainability and scalability. In sustainability, we also keep in mind, you respect environment, you respect ecology, you remember there is nothing free in this world. If you are taking some resources from this earth, you are again repaying back to the earth. That is called sustainability. Today, for example, if you are running a business in which you are using water, it is also your duty to give water back to the earth through some means. If you are polluting air, it is also your duty to plant some trees so that you purify the pollutants in the air. If you are causing noise pollution, if you are using loudspeaker, it is also your moral duty to ensure that you bring peace, calmness, and you encourage others to reduce the voice of loudspeakers, to reduce noise pollution. So bringing a good rapport with the environment, good rapport with nature, environment, be a part of nature as a part of it, respecting it is a moral duty. That is sustainability. So you have to prepare a sustainable business, that which is having a good coexistence with the environment. Your business is sustainable if because of business there is no loss to the environment, no damage to the environment. Your business is scalable if you can ensure that your business spreads, and that spread need not be as your franchise, but that may be by your ideas. Take for example, microfinance. A few people started microfinance in Bangladesh and in India and some other countries. Then they started training everybody else in all other developing countries that you also adopt microfinance. And today, microfinance is being used in every developing countries. The primary purpose of microfinance is that you are helping the poorest people by providing them small loans. That is your philosophy. So you have to spread your philosophy, not your organization. Organization is just one means. You set up an organization to achieve your ideas, to achieve your dreams, your passion. When you have set up an organization, your primary goal is some ideas, a bundle of ideas that you carry in your mind. You wish to get those ideas. That is your passion, that is driving you. Right? Suppose you set up an organization to impart education. It's a school, it's a college. The ultimate goal is not earning money. The ultimate goal is transformation of students into competent people. Build competences in the society. This is your driving passion. Everyone in your organization should carry this passion. Everyone in your organization should do it. And not only in your organization, across, beyond your organization also. That is scalability. Like if you train others also in how to do education, you are willing to spread your ideas. That is what we want. Your passion is to spread your ideas, to help the society, to help the humanity in its development. That is the fundamental backbone of entrepreneurship. Right? And we want more and more people to become entrepreneurial. And that requires EDPs, entrepreneurship development programs, entrepreneurship awareness programs in every school, every college. Right? Government of India in fact gives some grant, financial grants for educational institutions to conduct entrepreneurship awareness programs. We have to make everyone in our country entrepreneurial so that in our country those people who are entrepreneurs by choice. Right? If you are playing cricket with passion, that's good. But to play it better, you need to observe others who are also good cricketers. You interact with them. Similarly, if you want to become an entrepreneur, it's good. You do it with passion. But it is better you learn from others who are entrepreneurs. You learn from those who have done some mistakes as an entrepreneur. You need not copy them, but you take benefit out of their learning. Their failure can help you to avoid your failures. That is what we want. The journey of entrepreneurship is a journey full of learning, joy, enthusiasm, creativity, innovation, because these qualities help you. Right? And these are something that happen every day. You need not wait for laboratories. You can do wherever you are working. In whatever organization, in whatever shape you are doing, you can do that. And this will help you. This will help society also. Right? You find today, you go to any showroom, whether it's a car showroom or anything, you ask them that 2 years back you had come to the showroom and you had seen a particular model of a product. Is that product available? The first thing that the shopkeeper will tell you that my company introduces new models every 3 months. So 2-year-old products are not relevant today. You buy the latest because my company has introduced some new features for your benefit. You should take advantage of them. Have a look at new products. This is the reply that you will get everywhere. Why this reply? Because entrepreneurs everywhere keep on updating their products. They do suffer some loss also in that process. Sometimes the new updation is not accepted by society. Sometimes your stock of old products become a burden for you because it may cause you huge loss. But that doesn't stop the entrepreneur from updating, from developing, from improving. So that enables you to think creatively about how to give more benefit to your customers. Your dream is to give benefits to the customers. Add more features in your product so that the customer gets enlightenment, happiness, joy, and customer feels good feelings, right? That is your want. That is your value addition, so that your customer carries good feelings. For that, you have to continuously improve your products. And that spirit we want to spread in every entrepreneur across the country. When you see a small shopkeeper, even if a kachori wala is there, a samosa wala is there. Now, if that kachori wala tries to improvise every day, introduces new versions, new product variants, better taste, better health for the customer, that kachori wala can also become a better entrepreneur tomorrow and can become a role model. We can talk about that kachori wala in our classrooms. And we have the duty of creating this entrepreneurial passion across the country. I want to spread entrepreneurship in every village. Today, due to information technology, it is possible that every villager in India can become a billionaire by being an entrepreneur. The villager can use latest technology, can connect himself on information technology using websites and other things, can directly sell his products across the globe, can get better values. So I want that the villagers should also benefit. Most of Indians live in villages. They have excellent mind power. Fortunately, today most of the softwares are available in local languages also. So language barrier, which was a big barrier for them earlier, is no longer a barrier. They can download almost every software in their local language which they want to use. And if they have entrepreneurial zeal, entrepreneurial skills, they are entrepreneurs already. They can earn better, they can create better life for themselves, they can create better society, they can contribute to nation building, and that is what we want. And that is a guarantee for India to become a great country in the future. If everybody in our country is entrepreneurial, the country is bound to achieve tremendous progress in near future.